What's up, y'all? It's been a minute since I made a video. I've been so freaking busy this first quarter of 2021. Like, I literally have so much work that it's this adventure to try to keep up with it, which is really fun and exciting. Part of that is coming from the fact that I've created this morning process, actually a daily process for myself, which I think every business owner needs to be doing. Every human being on the planet needs like some kind of a daily process where they're doing things every day that make them feel good, that give them clarity, and that connect them to their wisest, best self. So the daily process, and I was just talking about this to my coaching client, and I won't reveal specific details about this person, but she and I were discussing the morning process for her. So we got on a Zoom call and we just discussed what does she need to do each morning, each day for her to start feeling her best and for her to just take great care of herself. It's that's so profound just in itself. And so we created this routine for her, this process for her. And then 2 weeks later, we met again over Zoom to discuss how it was going, what she had learned, what she had realized about herself in that. And she basically was like, there's nothing about this that's wrong. You can't go back. Once you start doing the daily process, you don't even want to go back. You don't want to go back to just having random unstructured days where you're not doing these things consistently. So if you're watching this, do you have a daily process? Do you do things every day that puts you in a great mood and make you feel great? Or do you just kind of wake up and do whatever shows up? Whatever, it's whatever. Are you an it's whatever person? Or do you actually sit down and think, okay, I have these certain activities that I'm going to do today. No matter what, they're my non-negotiables. So what I would recommend for daily process is wake up a little bit earlier than you have been. So whatever your wake up time is, if it's consistent, if it's not consistent, whatever it is, push it back about half an hour starting tomorrow. And push it back as far as you can to where you're getting up earlier at least. I used to be a night owl, so I would roll out of bed anywhere from 11 a.m. to 12 p.m. to 1 p.m. to whenever. Disgusting, right? I would wake up and my whole fucking day would be wasted. So part of the daily process is you wake up early. Now I wake up at 5:55 and my alarm is actually set for 5:54. So I give myself a 1 minute snooze, and it's not even a snooze. It's just kind of taking a deep breath and then getting out of bed. By 5:55, I'm out of bed. And that is really satisfying to me. So I'm getting up basically before it's light. It's still a little dark, although now with the time change, it's actually getting lighter earlier. So 5:55 is my wake up time, which is unheard of when you're a former night owl. I've been doing this for months and, gradually scaling it back earlier and earlier. Previously, it was 9 a.m. and then I pushed it back to 8:30 and then 6:45, and it just kept getting pushed back. So now it's 5:55. I don't think I will go any earlier. I did try getting up at 5:30 one time, and that was really, it was satisfying. I had 9.5 hours of sleep though, so I was very well rested. So I don't normally have that much sleep. I tend to get 7 to 7.5 hours lately because I'm so busy that I just don't like sleeping that much anymore. So early wake up time. Once you get up and you wash your face and go to the bathroom and all that stuff. Then comes the actual process. So this can be a combination of like a journal with certain things in it. So for my journaling process, sometimes I write down the gratefuls, like 3 things you're grateful for, but I've been really understanding that gratitude is best shown through your actions, not just your words. So sometimes I skip that part and I'm like, okay, yeah. We know what you're grateful for in words, but how are you going to show that through action? I look up 2 random Bible verses a day, and I just use this like site that generates random verses. I copy and paste those into my little journal document, and I just kind of reflect on them very briefly for a minute or 2. Part of that is like the Bible's challenging for me, so I'm like facing this challenge by intentionally submitting my mind to more of its content. So I do that, and then I reflect on my regrets from the previous day. Now this part is so huge. This part is very beneficial. You sit there like in your quiet space or whatever, and you think, what did I do yesterday that I regret doing or not doing? So you write it down. I type these up in my document. And this is just like massive accountability to yourself. You're being honest about what you did the previous day. You're thinking about it. You're reflecting on, why did I do that? Why did I not do that? And you're just thinking about it, which is increasing your awareness. So that's probably the most impactful part of this process, or one of the most. And then after that, I have this list of statements. So it's like, I have a list of like 40 statements that I read every single morning. And that's pretty a long list, but they're all things that I'm working on. They're all things that I'm auto-suggesting to myself, things that I'm repeating to myself daily so that I can train my mind. This is happening. This is what I'm creating. This is the reality that I'm like manifesting. And they're statements that my mind can't really argue with. So they're structured in the present tense. And they're just declaring what kind of experience I'm having. They're in the present tense. They're not in the future tense. So it seems like it's happening now. My mind is like, okay, this is happening now. And a lot of those statements on the list are actually happening. So they're like affirmations, but better. They're just statements that I'm working on. So I have that. And then I have my list of things that would make this day great. So those are usually my action steps. So I put the action steps in order. If I did this, and this would be a great fucking day. And usually there's like several things on the list, but I try to prioritize the top 3 or 4. And then my job throughout the day is to simply get those done. So all of that is like my morning process / journaling / reflection. And then at some point in the day, I do a very intense physical workout. So previously I was doing 100 burpees a day, and I actually just joined this program where I'm doing even more intense stuff every day. So I will do whatever the workout is on that program for the day. And that's also like super key for me to feel my best each day, is doing the physical activity. And with my coaching client, who I talked to recently, we sat down and we figured out what activities would she like to do every day. What does she want to do that's going to make her feel good? So she listed out 2 physical activities, and she's like, okay, I'll either do this one or I'll do that one. And if I can't do that one, I'll just default to this one because it's a little bit easier. And she's been doing it. And she's like feeling amazing just from 2 weeks of doing it. Because what happens when you do the physical activity, I mean, you have endorphins all through your body. You feel great. You're doing this like challenge, and your mind is like, I'm doing something. It's amazing. You're conquering the challenge. So yeah, that's the daily process. And there's a couple more things in there that I don't really, I don't think I'll touch on in detail today, but one's like, eating well, eating correctly, which can be a challenge. And I'm currently working on that, so I'm not really going to speak on that yet. But that's one. Client work, income generating activities, like prioritizing that above all else. That, as well as writing my second book. So I'm about 5-6 chapters into my second book. My first book, if you don't know, is the Anti-Marketing Manifesto, How to Sell Without Being a Sellout. I am so proud of this first book. And I think my second book will be even better than this. Like, this took me 5 years to finish, 6 years to publish, 6 years total, probably. My second book, I feel like I might be able to get the draft done in maybe 6 months at the pace it's going. Maybe sooner. I don't know. I'm testing. I really would love to finish a book in 1 year, since I know what goes into the process and I like planned in advance, and it's like going really well. So anyways, but yeah, so I have my like high priority activities that I focus on every day, which for me is doing client work, writing my book, doing income generating activities. So applying this all to your situation, one thing that you can really do to just massively increase your results just everywhere in business, in life, is create a daily process for yourself. And I can actually sit down with you over a Zoom call and figure this out with you. It's a very collaborative process. Like, you could totally do it on your own, but if you like want my help, just reach out to me. I'm on antimarketingmanifesto.com. Click through the link, find my email, and just reach out to me. And I really am finding that I like this process of like helping people get their morning process and their daily process nailed down, because I know from doing it myself, it makes you feel amazing. It gives you so much clarity, and it can work very quickly. And this is something that you can do for the rest of your life, and that you'll probably want to do for the rest of your life. You'll be like, oh my God, this feels amazing. I don't even want to not do it. So it's just very, very cool. So yeah, if you want me to help you with that, I would love to explore that with you. As far as everything else, yeah, this quarter has been busy. I hope everybody is like positively slammed. I don't like the word slammed, can have some negative connotations, but I like being positively slammed. That's just fun. Where you have so much work coming in, you're like, oh shit, how am I going to get this done? And then it just becomes this fun like challenge to get it all done. I'm definitely seeing that once you like shift your attitude and your perspective and your outlook, you can start seeing opportunities coming in faster. That's where all the work's coming from. There's like all these opportunities coming my way, and I can actually see them. I'm like, oh shit, like let's take action on these. So it's really cool to watch. It's really cool to experience. I'm not watching it, I'm fucking experiencing it. And it's cool to watch other people do it as well once they start to gain this clarity that comes from the inside. So that's it for today's video. 14, almost 15 minutes. I've been talking quite enough. So I will see you all later.